Welcome back, Exiles, for the second race event for today. We have DeadandDoom in the top left, Goratha in the top right, TheUberElite in the bottom left, and Freeq in the bottom right. This is a pretty intense group stage, in my opinion. D&D, arguably the champion of Season 2, Goratha claiming second in the same race, and TheUberElite showed vast improvement, crazy amount of practice, and Freeq, one of D&D's practice partners, in the same race. So we have 4 shadows. Shadow being the go-to class, apparently, for the Vaal kill. And we are off.
I love that. I love that Shadow is the go-to class of the Vaal kill. Yeah, this is a crazy pod here. We've got TheUberElite, who's held, or maybe still even holds, a Vaal kill record, I believe, right?
I believe TheUberElite may be the current Vaal record holder. That is indeed correct. So we have many record holders in our events. We have Don the Crown, who's our Brutus record holder, all the TheUberElite in this event. Very exciting.
So TheUberElite potentially having the edge here. He's got this refined down to an art. DeadandDoom definitely the favorite to take things, but you know, he hasn't lost a tournament yet. But if he's going to lose anyone, if anyone else is going to put in the extra grit that it needs to take DeadandDoom down, then this is the tournament to do so, with potentially more than $700 in cash prizes on the line. PogChamp.
Exactly. I think with 3 whole days to practice for the grand final, I think there is a chance, albeit possibly small, there is definitely a chance that someone can dethrone DeadandDoom.
I'm also interested to see whether we're going to see as crazy a Vaal kill race here as what we saw in the last race. I mean, I would be surprised if we saw as many deaths as we saw last time from this group of players here. These guys are very experienced players. But you never know what can happen. I wouldn't have expected those deaths in the last race. Not quite so many, at least.
Oh my god.
D&D.
Guess? Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, one guess. D&D already getting some move speed boots before leaving town.
Oh my god. Does he have like RNG hacks or something? Like, how does he do it every time? When it's on the line, when it counts, he gets the luck. He gets the gear. Is it skill? Is it RNG? I don't know, but he does it again.
I think the answer is it's probably quite a bit of both for DeadandDoom.
Probably.
Both always seem to be on point, both the player's skill and the RNG. Gets a little bit of cold resist gloves there as well, picking up an early rare. I don't even know if I've seen a rare drop like that just randomly before Tidal Island.
I like to point out that D&D got a very short layout, while Goratha got a very large layout in the coast. Oh man.
Nonetheless, they're still pretty close to each other. Looks like Goratha's going to be going to hit his eggs now. DeadandDoom having his first egg, TheUberElite hitting his first egg, and Freeq hitting his first egg as well, it looks like. Although it might be second for Freeq. They're all pretty neck and neck. We'll be seeing them dip back into Tidal Island here. Freeq actually looks like he's going to be first to get over there. Getting a nice run through our mud flights.
Yeah, very nicely done. While we're looking at D&D's crazy RNG, Freeq taking the early lead, already in the submerged passage. We'll be going Tidal Island momentarily.
Everyone's wearing boots, and it looks like we also have move speeds for Goratha as well. Move speed boots, that was shorthand for move speed boots. Move boots. So DeadandDoom not the only one with the crazy RNG today. Getting those nice early move speeds is going to be very handy. We got Freeq. Looks like he's going to be hitting his Hellrake first. He gets a very short run of Hellrake and completely gets the right side of the layout. Shadow Hellrake kill is always a little bit safer than some of those early duelist kills, and he gets that kill very quickly. Picks a couple of rares, nothing that he'll be able to use, just stuff for the vendor. And TheUberElite, and looks like TheUberElite will be hitting his Hellrake next. Unless he's on the long side, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, see Freeq open up the menu. I don't see anything too crazy so far of all of our players in terms of gear drops. Obviously, move speed being a couple of big ones you have already mentioned, but in addition to that, is anyone
unique coral amulet for TheUberElite?
That's active.
That's must be something
I love coral amulet. Then get a unique one on top. Oh baby, let's go. That's exciting.
It's the Havoc dream.
It is the dream.
Unique coral amulet.
I see Freeq just cooked move speed boots as well. I think that's 3 players of move speed in this race. TheUberElite being left out, the only player with that move speed at the moment. But He is the tankiest.
Oh, but he does have that Araku Tiki.
Exactly.
It's a little bit unfortunate because I'm pretty sure that's flat fire damage, but only to attacks. So probably.
I believe that's actually Ignomon. I think this one is life and fire res.
Just life and it's 44 life and 20 something fire res. That's actually pretty good.
Definitely.
You're
nice
right. That is Ignomon with
playing
the
a bit more
fire
aggressive.
damage.
And you can argue that's effective DPS, whereas instead of kiting or walking away, you can feel, oh my god.
And
I think it just saved his
alive.
life. It just saved his life. Holy moly. Nicely done.
The clutch Araku Tiki equip right before the shrine, right before he goes down to about 10 HP. That 40 HP easily saving his life right there. So, wow, Araku Tiki making the difference. I wouldn't have expected it, but there you go. That's a pretty good amount of survivability right there.
So I'm going to have to take a short pause here as Ro16 has offered to save my voice in the next 2 events. So Ziggy, if you want to hop on over to the host room, we can cast along with Rise.
Do you want to do that now or for the next one?
We can go do that right now before I,
Alright,
before I die.
Okay, good idea. Alright, I'll jump over there.
Hello, Mr. Raise QT. So we are in here with Mr. Rise, but he cannot hear me at the moment for an apparent reason. So once he joins us, he will take over, and he'll let my voice relax for a bit until I'll cast his race in the evening.
I can hear you, Havoc.
Oh, there we go. He's back.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody?
It's going good, man. Thank you for the kind offer, Rise, and I'll gladly take you up on it. I'll let you guys just jump straight into casting. I'm gonna try to survive.
All right, man.
Good job, Havoc. Good job, man. Pleasure casting that 1.5 race with you. Get some Rise. Rise, thank you for joining me for this the rest of the cast today, mate.
Hey, what's up, Ziggy? Yeah, it's a real pleasure. I wasn't quite expecting this, but I mean, I did hear the news, and then I tuned into the stream, and Havoc was having a rough time, so why not step in, and hopefully this can go nicely.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you back, mate. So let's get straight into things, eh? Let's have a look.
Sure thing, absolutely. So how's it looking so far? Everybody seems to be doing pretty great. Everybody's in ledge, performing quite nicely. It was a pretty bumpy race from what I've heard about the first one.
Yeah, that first race was certainly pretty bumpy. We had a lot of deaths. A lot of deaths. I don't know if we'll be seeing quite so many this race around. Looks like Freeq was the first to the climb with DeadandDoom shortly behind. And DeadandDoom and Goratha just finishing up their ledges here as well. We've got an acceleration shrine for Goratha, but I think that's like right at the end. He'll be it's just before Kaduku, so it gets a bit out of it. A couple of
that's absolutely helpful. Oh yeah. Well, this is a pretty stacked group. DeadandDoom, Goratha, TheUberElite, and Freeq. Ooh, wonder who's gonna be coming out first. Although the groups don't really matter as much for this one, correct?
Yeah, it's top 8 times overall, so everyone's just going to be looking to put in their best times. I mean, if these guys all do amazingly, they could take the top 4 slots, especially if everyone else is dying as much as we've seen. So these guys could be the top 4 players you're watching right now. Potentially, we'll have to wait and see.
Oh yeah, I can absolutely imagine that. These guys, a lot of prestige. Obviously, DeadandDoom and everybody knows, but then also Goratha, TheUberElite, and Freeq, very well-respected racers.
Yeah, you put it well when you said this is a pretty stacked group, and also the RNG has been in favor of these guys as well, which all the other, it's worth noting with those times being competing against everyone in the group stage, all the other players cringe a little bit when they see early move speed boots from the other players, because they're like, ooh, it's going to cut a little bit of time off their time, and that might push me out of the top 8. And we do indeed have move speed boots for DeadandDoom, Goratha, Freeq, and not Uber. No move speed boots for Uber, unfortunately. But Uber's still, he's putting in the paces though.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. We're going to be seeing some really crazy times here. I mean, so far, the under 8-minute prison entrance for DeadandDoom and Freeq, absolutely, that's a great time. Typically, if you're having a great layout, something like 8:20 already feels nice, but in under 8 minutes, you can really see that difference that those movement speed boots make, even for such a short period of time.
Yeah, when everyone playing Shadows here, they want as much of that move speed as possible to compete against inner duelists who are taking advantage of that Leap Slam in Act 2. We did see some move speed double Quicksilver yesterday, but unfortunately, sorry, in the last race, but unfortunately some deaths took away that advantage. So just those move speed bits alone might be enough for these guys to secure some top 4 positions. We shall see.
Yeah, so far everybody's having a really great time. Every player is in upper prison with seemingly DeadandDoom and Freeq on the exact same pace, although Freeq does get a little bit more of a tricky layout with DeadandDoom getting into Water's quarters under 940. That is ridiculous pace right here.
Yeah, he's overtaken Freeq, who was leading the charge for much of this Act 1 here. But DeadandDoom, you know, kind of just getting in front of him here at the Warden. And it looks like Freeq's taking some time to kill some extra lockboxes. Gets a little bit of a dead end. So having a little bit of a rougher time through upper prison there.
Yeah, Freeq is heading in the right direction, so he should be there shortly, and he can now see the entrance. That is a very good layout read, despite the trickiness of it. Very well done. Although I do not see any of the players having a 3-link just yet. Actually, DeadandDoom being the only one, so that might play a role very soon.
That's the one advantage that he is having at this point, not having those move speed boots, and that's what he needs. DeadandDoom pre-trapping Brutus, face tanking easily with a large life flask, and takes Brutus down without any wasted time at all. That was a very fast Brutus kill right there, considering, you know, like no 3-link or anything like that.
Wow, everybody again on a crazy pace. And Freeq didn't remember to put his bear trap in his inventory. Hopefully that one is leveled. If he's forgotten, that might punish his Brutus kill a little bit. Goratha fighting Brutus right now. 3 potions, only 1 medium and 2 smalls, but he's really rocking it and kills Brutus. Very clean kill considering the gear, honestly.
TheUberElite gets his pre-traps up. He gets pretty good connection on those. Most of them hit Brutus. Brutus is going down very fast, already down to halfway. He's avoiding the spikes, taking a little bit safer, but gets the kill almost just as fast. Freeq having to avoid some slams. Brutus actually pulling out some of these skills against Freeq. Freeq goes very low, only 2 small life flasks. He's not healing fast enough. He avoids the chain pull though, which was well done because he had no life at that point. Chain pull might have finished him off. Gets chain pulled back in. No. Oh, he's got 1 flash charge left. He'll get this kill. He'll get this kill. He's got this.
He's got this, absolutely. Ooh, getting a little unlucky with entropy, dropping quite low.
Maybe not. I always like to be proven wrong in these boss fights.
Yeah, but this really is, this really showcased well how big of a difference it was between DeadandDoom's kill and Freeq's kill, and that big difference was really how much DeadandDoom utilized that bear trap and just kept Brutus at a distance, while Freeq went more for the duelist strats. Maybe he's been more accustomed to melee recently, but still, pretty good time despite everything, honestly. These times are ridiculously fast. Any kill under 12 minutes Brutus, that's a really freaking good time. So despite the struggles, everybody reached Brutus so fast that it doesn't matter nearly as much. And DeadandDoom's already level 10, while being at 1230, about to have his Caverns of Wrath. This might be an under 15-minute Merveil quite easily, honestly. Maybe even a level 11, which will allow him to kill Merveil just about instantly.
Yeah, DeadandDoom having an insane run here. He was like only a minute behind the Brutus kill record, I think. And the Brutus kill record, it's worth keeping in mind, is people don't have to consider what happens after the Brutus kill. So they do it super under-leveled and as fast as possible. Getting close to the Brutus kill record in a Vaal race is insane. So he's running real fast here.
Damn, Freeq having a little bit of bad luck, was doing really great before, but now he had a perfect read on this layout. Oh no, excuse me, he didn't read it correctly. So basically in Prisoner's Gate, if the layout is leading up on a ramp, that will be the corrupted zone, and I thought that was the reason why he had turned, didn't quite see the layout, but actually that was the right way. You gotta look for the ramp going up. If it's going up, that's the corrupted zone, and you don't want to be going there. Freeq, unfortunately, with the not quite precise enough layout read.
No webcam, but I imagine he's shaking his head at that Vaal corrupted side area right there. That's a little rough. Yeah, that's rough, because that was smart, but he didn't quite see the ramp, so very unfortunate. Oh, DeadandDoom with a nice little shortcut to his Merveil kill here. Getting there even faster, entering at 13:48. That's crazy. He did cut back a little bit on experience, so he's now level 11. He has Explosive Trap, didn't level, so this Merveil kill will be a little bit slower, but still with Explosive Trap, he's dealing out a lot of damage, and most of these players are looking to only be about level 13 when killing Vaal. But really hitting a level 11 in Act 1 can be punishing at times, so I think this is the proper choice here. As long as you've got Flame Dash and you get through Caverns,
That's absolutely fine.
He is just shredding Merveil, and second phase goes down, no problems. Doesn't get any gear off as it just logs out straight away. He's just going to be looking to like, alright, no gear to worry about, I'm just going to be as fast as possible with this. Goes and grabs his Blade Vortex. Second large life blast equipped. And he begins his run through Act 2 insanely quickly there. 14 minutes 39 enter for Act 2 there. Crazy.
Anytime under a 15-minute Merveil is extremely impressive, and really that rotation with the bird trap that he showed us there on the Merveil fight, that's super complex, and he pulled it out really, really well.
He backtracks he's far for that transmute there, but that is a crucial piece of currency. He probably needs that to craft his +1 wand, I'd say. It looks like he didn't have one already.
Possibly so, yeah. Obviously, you can always... The transmute is always useful because you can toss it on your Quicksilver, possibly getting some extra charges, maybe even getting lucky and getting a little bit of resistances on there too, on the suffix. But either way, it pretty much always helps out. Even stun recovery, a stat that a lot of players disregard. Stun recovery, when you're under leveled and everything's about to stun you, is quite useful and increases survivability tremendously.
I would like to point out that DeadandDoom did indeed end up getting his move speed boots, so almost fair race. All players have move speed boots at this point, which is always nice to see. It's always nice to see. He got his a little bit later than the others though.
Typically throughout the entirety of a tournament like this, for the 16 runs that we're going to be seeing today, you're maybe going to be seeing 2-3 movement speed boots on average. For all 4 of these guys having movement speed boots, even though TheUberElite did get his late, that's really nuts. Freeq running into more and more problems. Honestly, he's getting... He's doing extremely well considering the circumstances. A lot of boom booms, his layouts have been tricky, and yet he's progressing. Maybe a little bit tilted, but he's doing extremely well in regards to everything so far. Really well played.
DeadandDoom hitting up his Chamber of Sins here. He'll have no trouble reading any of this. We'll see if we have any Fetalitis incidents. Last race, Fidelitas got 2 kills. Right, 2 kills.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Okay. So, I did tune in for just a second just to see Hejla die instantly to Fidelitas, so pretty rough fight. Oh my goodness, Freeq gets a corrupted zone. This guy, honestly guys, Freeq has been playing great so far. I'm trying to pay attention to what he's doing, but he has not had any luck, and the fact that he's still on this sort of pace really proves that he can fight with the best here, but unfortunately, in this race in particular, he's just fallen so far behind, despite the fact that his time's looking pretty okay still.
Yeah, they could be, like, those Vaal side areas could be all it takes for him to fall far behind, these other guys right now, but, if he continues a good run like he's been having, apart from that, then he could still hit those top 8 times.
Oh yeah, Path of Exile can be like poker, even if you play it all right. You might just have bad luck and things don't work out. Doesn't necessarily mean you played bad, or doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing what you did in the previous race. So it can be like that at times, and it does seem like Freeq is getting rivered in this tournament.
Even bringing out the old poker jargon there. DeadandDoom does not go down to Fidelitas. Fidelitas has no chance. He just shreds him with that Blade Vortex, and he's already moving on.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely the right approach to have. A lot of players will be playing with Explosive Trap, utilizing the Bear Trap for Fidelitas, which for the most part is the tricky fight, and then immediately they're going to be switching to Blade Vortex and trying to have a decent uptime on their onslaught with Frostbomb, but primarily focusing on just getting through the content as fast as possible to get to Vaal and have a nice, clean, safe kill.
Do you think there's a potential for DeadandDoom to be on pace here for a record-setting Vaal kill, or close there too?
Not exactly sure what the pace is now, as it does change pretty frequently. A lot of players practicing and a lot of players getting those really good runs, but honestly, so far from the looks of it, it doesn't get too much better. There have been records of under 14-minute Merveil kills. I do believe that DeadandDoom having to pick up his Blade Vortex after his Merveil kill, which meant that he did need to go to town. after the kill was just under 15 minutes, so still a pretty good pace, but not quite world record pace.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like the world record is somewhere around the 28-minute mark, and possibly done with, you know, like a Quicksilver adrenaline, optimal circumstances, which certainly not always going to happen.
DeadandDoom fighting Weaver. Weaver going up. I thought he maybe is going to just get stuck in animation. He's going to have a nice, clean, instant kill. But unfortunately, Weaver does go up. Still a solid fight, but a little bit slower than it possibly could have been. With the DeadandDoom killing Fidelitas with Blade Vortex. He has the balls to do it, and it worked out for him. And Goratha doing the same with Explosive Trap. They're really on the exact same pace, and it's looking fantastic for everybody so far.
Yeah, all the shadows taking down Fidelitas very nicely in this race. Only Freeq remains to have his Fidelitas fight, so we'll see if anything untoward happens there. But I think all these guys are going to be making it through this race pretty cleanly.
Oh yeah, I absolutely do see that happening for everyone. The only thing is, yeah, the choice, what level exactly are they going to be having for Vaal? Because a lot of players normally, in a normal setting where you are just playing past Vaal, you're probably going to be looking at level 18 at the least, 19, 20, most players being even up to level 21 if you're just playing normally. But these guys, they're going to only be doing level 13 or 14, but that one level difference, how much you kill and how much you utilize your onslaught, can make all the difference in a stacked race such as this one.
Well, still seeing all the players taking advantage of that easy Frostbomb experience here, so a little bit easy to hit that higher level on the Shadow, where you can just keep running without really any downtime to actually get those kills.
Oh yeah, but it's a lot of optimizing.
Just gear swapping to do so.
Oh, okay, DeadandDoom was level 12, so he just now hits level 13. That is really impeccable timing. That is extremely well done. I thought already he had been over-leveled, but no, his Cavern run really made him last when it comes to the experience, and at this point he's not particularly worried about it. He will still be focusing on picking up that onslaught from any sort of easy target with his Frostbomb, but primarily he's running. He's just trying to get through and reach Vaal as fast as possible now.
Freeq playing it a little bit safer on his Fidelitas fight there, using that Explosive Trap instead of running in with the Blade Vortex. Gets the kill without getting hit though.
Yeah, despite some of the close calls, he's still doing fantastic, honestly, and this is definitely a time that can still get him into the semis, so him playing it safe is absolutely the right call to be having here. Even though it does look like he's far behind the other players, this is still amazing pace.
Yeah, these are like probably some of the top 3 times we're going to be seeing. So being a bit behind these guys at this point is not too bad for getting into the semifinals, like you said. And I mean, if he continues on this pace without a death,
Goratha dropping low. Yeah, getting hit a little bit too much, but pulls back just in time. Would have been interesting if he just stuck around and killed Weaver instantly, but he did go for the safe route, and it definitely worked out for DeadandDoom. Oh, doesn't get hit by the explosions, drops a little bit low. Was worried there for him for just a moment, but no, very, very well calculated by the DeadandDoom.
We're seeing a few close calls here, so we could still have an upset in the final stages of this race here, which none of these players wants a death at this point. They want to secure these really solid times here that they've got going. Even Freeq looking like he's going to secure potentially a pretty good time here, as long as he doesn't have a death. If he has a death, then that could be something that changes his time from a top 8 to a not top 8.
DeadandDoom honestly showing his impeccable layout reading skills. He did get the tricky swirly, so it's called layout, in the Vaal Ruins, and he reads it perfectly, progressing so freaking well. But that is a very long layout, and it will hurt his time. Maybe even 30, possibly 40 seconds, depending on what sort of layouts the other players get.
DeadandDoom actually Frostbomb swapping with a pair of gloves. He's got a pair of gloves for one setup and a pair of gloves for another setup. Actually hot swapping those out when he needs them. So swapping back to that Frostbomb now to clear some packs here, get a little bit more XP, probably grab this one last level before Vaal.
Nice, great Vortex.
I like to see that advanced on-the-fly kind of generated strats as well. It's not something you practice for. It's just like something that he organically works out as he goes.
Yeah, and really, it's very tricky to utilize something like that. Even a weapon swap can be extremely tricky to just utilize it properly in a race such as this one, because there's simply so much to do. Especially if you're still gaining experience. In the position that DeadandDoom is in, you know, he doesn't particularly worry about things. Every 8 seconds or so, he needs to carry something. But Freeq is still leveling. He still has to take down Weaver. And that's just a very tricky thing to utilize. And it does take time.
Is not quite getting much XP out of his Frostbomb though. It looks like it's not dealing enough damage to take down these packs.
Yeah.
It either doesn't have that +1 cold, or maybe because it wasn't in his gloves, like it wasn't actually equipped, it's not getting quite the same XP it would normally be getting. Yeah, he's actually going to have to make it a little concerted effort if he wants to grab this last level here.
I don't think he's going to be going for the level. Being level 13 in a level 19 zone or so now, I do believe that he's just going to be focusing on those little tendril guys, getting them little squids, not worrying about the bears or those bats that actually do hit him for quite a bit, even though ghosts aren't going to be going down, so not quite a flawless play there, but it doesn't mean a whole lot, and as he reaches these zones, he can pretty much only kill the apparatus, and I do think that he will be going for some of those kills, but that's a blue pack, so not that one in particular. Not looking for experience right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to grab a couple kills for Onslaught buffs here, and he swaps his Onslaught into his Blade Vortex here. Spends a little bit of time whirling up to try and get those kills. Finds a couple dead ends.
Yeah, he's been... This can be an extremely tricky layout, especially if you do have a master, because there are generally 3 positions that you can reach, and sometimes if you do get a bad layout, you might just hit that dead end on the left, but you unfortunately have to take it. You do see a little bit of frustration from DeadandDoom, as he did have pretty bad Vaal ruins and a pretty bad caverns, but still on an insanely good pace. Anything under 30 minutes is super impressive for a race such as this one.
TheUberElite coming upon his northern forest now. He's not going to be too far behind there. Goratha looks like he hit a mega dead end in his Vaal ruins, unfortunately. So still trying to find the way through there. And Freeq now taking on Alira down bottom right.
Yeah, that is an extremely tricky layout for Goratha because, yeah, oftentimes you do have to turn to the left, but you can never really tell quite how early you're supposed to be turning to the left.
DeadandDoom actually explaining some positive RNG for once with the dude. This run, holy shit, it has been just an incredible run.
Yeah, he's really happy with this, absolutely. Again, that Vaal ruins, he read it perfectly, but it was still a very long layout. So if only those 2 layouts would have been a little bit better, this would be a crazy time.
I would just like to point out that if his Vaal cooperates here, he could well be setting a world record right now. I think the world record is just slightly under 28 minutes, and he's actually he's doing it. He's doing it. He's gonna get this. Oh yeah, he's gonna get this.
Absolutely.
We get an ice phase from Vaal and 27-28. Holy shit! Easy world record for Vaal.
Wow,
there's a world record by 30 seconds.
So fast.
By 30 seconds, beating the world record. 30 seconds, that is insane. Even just a second or 2 would be insane.
This is the power of DeadandDoom. Despite having that 40 or so seconds slower Merveil kill, he still makes it up in Act 2 despite some tricky layouts. That is really his strength. This Act 2 display was amazing.
Can you guys say that you were here to witness the world record breaking by DeadandDoom by 30 seconds live? I can certainly say that. And I'll tell you what, for anyone who's like having thoughts about, yeah, this is the tournament that I take down DeadandDoom from his lead, I'm going to win some of that cash prize. He's like, DeadandDoom's like, no, I'm going to shatter their morale before we even finish the group stage. What an absolute god. Insane.
This was crazy. And you can really see that before, he was kind of on pace with Freeq before, and then Goratha and TheUberElite. But as soon as they hit Act 2, he just bounced. Left them really far behind, and now the other players, Goratha making it through the caverns, TheUberElite also in the caverns, making it just past the waypoint, with Freeq unfortunately quite a bit behind. But if he does keep on progressing well at the same way that he has been doing, you know, he's doing the best he really can with the RNG that he's got, he's still going to be setting a nice time that possibly will be getting him into the top 8. With the other players, honestly, I'm going to be participating in the last group, and I'm pretty scared for myself here. Goratha dropping low.
Squid's almost taking him down. Barring no deaths, these guys all have a very good shot at top 8 times here. Their times overall are very good. It's just hard to compare to a world record breaking time like DeadandDoom just got there. That is insane. But right, so this is Shook. Yeah, I forgot that you'll be in the last bracket today.
Yeah,
this helps or hinders your racing for later today to see some of these runs.
Yeah, I might have also not played Path of Exile for 2 weeks, and also literally just turned my computer for the first time in a week after I've moved. So I don't have a particularly comfortable situation here, but I'll still try to show my best.
I look forward to casting your race a little bit later with with Havoc's scuffed voice backing me up. Look forward to some of that, but I'm sure you'll do your best, man.
Yeah, we'll be. I'm definitely gonna do my best, but will it be enough? Probably not.
Give it your all, man. You got this. You can still break DeadandDoom's record here today. You just need to do exactly what DeadandDoom did, but also get a Quicksilver of Adrenaline. Then you could easily wipe a few seconds off that time.
Yeah, Quicksilver of Adrenaline would absolutely be helpful. Although I do believe that a lot of people overstate how useful it is compared to the movement speed boots, as you don't get nearly as many uses of it as you only do get about level 13. Which means that you don't kill nearly as much as I would if you were to be level 18. So a Quicksilver, absolutely helpful, but possibly a early +1 for that Frost Bomb might have made a bigger difference than the Quicksilver. We're just gonna have to see from the other top records that probably players will be reaching at some point.
Uber chucks a transmute on his one there right before Vaal gets a +1, but it's +1 gold. I'm not going to help out with the Blade Vortex exactly.
Unfortunately not. None of it would. But possibly a 1, 2, 3 fire damage would be actually pretty nice.
Yeah, there's no +1 to physical spells, unfortunately. DeadandDoom nonetheless takes down Vaal very quickly there, securing himself a 31-18 time. A very solid time overall. Goratha not too far behind. Looks like he's going to be getting somewhere around that 31-40 maybe. If Vaal hurries up and gets back in the fight.
Oof! Can he take it down?
Just straight in that space.
Oh! Just barely doesn't take it down.
Oh, just misses it. Costing him another 10 seconds, which is not what you want when Vaal just scans you out of 10 seconds like that. And then gets the kill instantly after that. 31-49. Could have been maybe 31-40 if Vaal had not been a jerk. Sometimes Vaal can be a joke. That's definitely a few pepper hands from chat. Goratha had a little bit of bad luck in this race for sure.
Still an extremely good time. I'm not exactly sure what the other players had in the previous race. We'll be seeing it in just a second. As Freeq is still finishing up his race, currently looking for the ancient pyramids in the caverns. Oh, Freeq, don't go there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, okay. He's going back up. I thought for just a second he's going to be going below. No, Freeq, don't go there. Pretty sure he's not supposed to go there. Oh, what if he does?
Which way is he supposed to go, Rise? Is he just telling him where not to not go anywhere?
I do believe that he was supposed to go further up. No, he does hit the second room over here, so it should be right here. Okay, yeah. Okay, there you go. That was a solid read from him. Honestly, I would be looking for the second room. Typically, this zone has 2 big rooms, and in either situation, the entrance to Ancient Pyramid is adjacent to one of them, but usually that room is above, as the primary locations for the entrance is to the left, to the top left, and also directly above you. Some people call it the middle. So this was honestly a very tough layout to read, and he still did great. Despite all of that.
Dude, I have no clue when it comes to that layout. I was looking at his minimap there, and I was like, yeah, I would have kept going up there to check that room. I was like, he gets those reads sooner than I get those reads.
Yeah, he really read that. Oh, frick!
Oh, only a small life loss to recover him from that massive hit from the skeletons. Goes exceptionally low there, almost losing his deathless run here. But that said, even making it through without any deaths here, he's lost a lot of times. He's hit the multiple Vaal areas. He's had some really rough times getting through some of these zones. A lot of backtracking. Just feels like he's lost a bit too much time here. It's gonna be difficult, I think.
Yeah, it's just one of those races, unfortunately, when things don't quite line up. Even that layout, the last layout, he almost died just because his layout didn't line up quite as well as it did for some of these other players here. But still, he's playing pretty well. He's not overusing his abilities in the slightest, and hits the ball, gets down to the Vaal, and hopefully he can have a nice clean kill, as he does not have any life potions, which, you know, typically that's something that's useful in this game. Path of Exile's life potion system does help you stay alive, but he does utilize the #1 rule of Path of Exile hardcore play, which is just don't get hit. If you don't get hit, you don't have a problem. Don't need no life flasks.
And as far as Vaal's concerned, that's not too difficult to do. It's mostly the ads you're a bit worried about with those life flasks, but he does get a charge almost immediately from those ads, so he's in good shape here.
Yeah, I do believe so.
Just keep those Beyblades word up, and he will be good to go. Looks like if Vaal cooperates, Vaal is just being indecisive, and he takes advantage of it, capitalizes, and gets his 35-12.
That was nice. Vaal did cooperate quite a bit there. He did do the spinny dance move, and it was just enough of Freeq to still have a quite respectable time here. Not sure if he's going to be making it into the semis, but still a time that is kind of nice.
Very well done.
He jumps to the complaining, but honestly, understandably so.
Yeah, what a race, man. What a race. We had set a new world record with DeadandDoom securing that 27-28. I mean, if anything's going to get you into the group semis, that's going to be it. He'll be taking the #1 slot for sure in this group stage. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Unquestionably. Goratha and DeadandDoom, very, very solid times to get themselves through to the next round as well. And we'll have to wait and see how the other players pan out for Freeq.
DeadandDoom is mentioning that the time was a decent time. It's a decent time. I do believe that was a decent time, DeadandDoom.
Just decent. I noticed he was a little bit unhappy with his caverns layout, so maybe he got a little bit unlucky in that race there.
Yeah, absolutely so. But all jokes aside, that wasn't a particularly crazy run in terms of either density of mobs or drops. Sure, the movement speed boots are there, but it was just extremely well played, and those layouts do absolutely help out. But still, despite that, a lot of other players wouldn't perform nearly as well as DeadandDoom did. He did display his prowess in that Act 2, jumping ahead of all these other players.
Yeah, absolutely destroying any questions of whether DeadandDoom was feeling on point for this tournament this week. And he's like, "Yeah, no, man, I'm gunning for that top 1 spot. I'm not gonna be giving it away for you guys just because there's some prize money. I'm gonna be taking this one as well."
Oh yeah, okay. big motivator, the big cash pool, the big prize, all these players competing. That has to be a motivator for a lot of these players here. The first ever, actually second ever, I do believe, cash prize tournament in the history of Path of Exile.
Yes, I think it's only the second one ever. There we go. We have it up on the screen now. Top 8 times for the moment. Keep in mind, only 8 players have rammed, so this will be changing as we run more of the group stages. DeadandDoom, as we said, securing that first slot with Freeq and DeadandDoom behind. Like we said, that pod there was a pretty kick-ass pod, and we got 2 of the guys there in the top 4. Looks like Goratha securing 4th himself, Freeq, Heschler, Don the Crown, and then Synesis taking 8th. Unfortunately, the 40-minute times, those guys are probably going to be knocked out in the next stage, unless we see some crazier races like we've seen in the past with some more deaths.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is also Heschler with 3 deaths or 2 deaths?
Yeah, I think we had at least 2 or 3. we had some 3 deaths in that race. It was pretty nutty.
Okay, still a very respectable time. Hopefully Heschler, one of the players that is deemed to be one of the winners, so to see him not get out through the group stage will be quite an upset, I think, here.
So it looks like in the next round of the group stage, we'll be having Gucci Pradas face off against Hobbit, Waggle, and Hellman. And it looks like you'll be casting with me one more race, and then in the final race, Raze will be leaving us to go race himself.
Right. Yeah, I learned the best through watching the best, I think, more than hone my own skills. So this was just an elaborate plot to scout out the competition and see how the others are doing.
I mean, exactly. You could have been practicing right now, but I think just watching DeadandDoom's run right now, it shaved a minute off anyone's watching's times. Anyone who runs Vaal right now just got a minute shaved off their time by watching DeadandDoom from that last race.
We grew as gamers, absolutely. I think for the next group, with Gucci Prada's Hobbit, Waggle, and Helmet, a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing when is Gucci going to pull out the big guns. You know, a lot of people are expecting a really good time out of Gucci, but he hasn't quite been performing well enough in the previous races, so everybody's just kind of waiting, like, when is Gucci really going to show his true form? When is he going to show his final stage? Will it be this race? Would be a good idea to pull it out against Hellman and Waggle, the pride of America here, and players who have been competing for a long time. I think a lot of players are looking forward to seeing where Hellman stands and whether or not he's actually going to be pulling out the duel list or diverting into maybe some shadow play. That would be a little
non-red shirt helmet, non-red shirt helmet.
Yeah,
see.
That's
could well be an exciting race, and it'll be in just a few minutes' time. We're gonna take just a couple minutes here for downtime and setup, and we'll see you guys, and we'll return in just a moment. So stay tuned.